Oh, hey, Internet, how's it going? This week, brace yourselves, HBO without cable is coming. Also, we look over some truly revolutionary crowdfunded projects. One that will forever change what you think about cat ear-shaped headphones, and another that will disrupt the folk industry with its percussive supplementation to the traditional banjo. And finally, some guy threatened to kill a bunch of people if a feminist talk about video games on a university campus, thus forever proving that sexism in gaming isn't a problem. Great job, guys. With me today from the UK, as always, is Mr. James Bruce. How's it going, James?
It's going super.
I, of course, forgot to introduce myself. I'm Justin Pott. I'm in Boulder, Colorado, and you're listening to Technophilia. Keep doing that. Sorry about that, James. I got in the way. Also with me in Connecticut is Mr. Dave LeClaire. How's it going, Dave?
Usually you forget to introduce me because you go on some rant for yourself, then some rant for James, and then I'm just sitting here like, you know, eating Doritos and drinking Monster or something, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's right, Dave's here too.
So I'm being told by the chat room that we are echoing badly. We're all doing the headphone thing, right? We're good?
Yeah, I don't know why we... That must be something on the Hangouts end? Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so hopefully the HD one will be better for now if you can hear us. Sorry.
Scudderman, that probably means you've got the video open twice.
Now, that could be...
I don't want to be a dick about this, but... close some tabs, dude.
Yeah, I just played the video, and it sounds fine. So
yeah, you totally.
Maybe he does have it open twice. That'd be pretty funny.
So anyway, things are fine. Let's go on.
Moving right along. So someone decided to make headphones with cat ears on the top, but those cat ears also function as speakers, and they've almost raised $1 million now. Look, holy crap! I hate what? Why, James? Why?
Well, look, okay, I think if we were going to sit down and design a pair of headphones like now, the first thing on the list would obviously be LEDs, right? Because who doesn't love LEDs? Yeah. You would like them. I know they're on your head and you can't actually see the LEDs, but everyone else can see the LEDs, so that's obviously important, right? So then, moving on.
Obnoxious. Okay.
There's this awesome thing. We're gonna put speakers on the headphones.
Why?
Well, but you know when you're sitting on the subway and you're like listening to someone else's music because it's like really tinny and stuff.
Yeah.
Never mind that. Boom! Yeah. You can play it full volume to everyone on the train.
Scudderman update. Awesome. He did have the tab open twice, so there we go. We're good.
Scudderman is known for being a genius, guys.
Oh, Scudderman's the best. We'll talk a bit about his work later. Maybe.
Plus, I think if we put those speakers into a feline shape ears, that would probably make it that like this is going to sell like hotcakes.
I'm so mad that this exists, guys. I don't understand.
Obviously, this was never going to sell any, except they got a hot Asian girl to model it. And
you really think it's that?
$1 million.
I think it's this Asian guy if you scroll down further.
Oh, yeah, that guy's hair is pretty... They got some awesome hairstyles.
I'm sorry.
Everybody's hair matches the
color of their headphones. Yeah.
I mean, that is marketing 101, if you ask me.
I pledged to get a pair of purple ones.
Of course you did, you jackass.
How would you not do that? Of course I'm going to get
I'll tell you how not. Look, would I ever want to use this? No.
Hey, for $10,000, you can get a custom LED super pack, one of a kind. No one else will get it. So, I mean, if that's a bargain right there. I mean,
I really hope they're actually good speakers.
So there was an article yesterday I saw. I have to look up these schematics, but you can make any headphones into Bluetooth headphones with $20 worth of parts. And I think that's a better idea, guys. You have headphones now. You just want wireless ones. $20. You can do it yourself. So
wait, are these ones wireless?
If they get to a certain thing, I think they'll be wireless. But they're also going to add a gaming what do you call it, microphone boom thing. If they get to like 15 million or something, I don't know.
This is the worst. This is terrible.
Awesome.
I'm angry.
Speaking of headphones, we just ordered 3 pairs of gaming headphones with microphones for a review giveaway roundup of 3 high-end gaming headphones.
I want to see you wearing them all at the same time.
The reason we did it that way is because you can't. what are you gonna say about one pair of headphones? You know,
yeah, they make a noise. I can hear stuff.
Exactly.
And,
so by putting 3 of them in one review, it actually gives me enough to say.
Yeah.
But it works out perfectly because I happen to need a pair, so I picked the 3 that I'm interested in.
Why do you need a pair? You have a microphone and you have headphones. I don't.
For playing games, I hate using this thing to talk to my friends playing video games. So I happen to need a pair. I picked the 3 that I'm interested in. We ordered the 3 of them. Whichever one I like, I buy. It's really genius, if you ask me.
Well, I have to say, James, that particular example of crowdsourcing makes me angry, but there's one thing that made me really happy this week, and it's from Kurt Quinn, who's an actor out of LA, and he's raising money to fund something called the Band Drum, which I really think is revolutionary. I don't know if you saw this.
Oh, I did.
Why is it at a $28
That's
goal?
3 minutes out of my life I want back, Justin.
No, this is incredible. I'm not going to spoil anything, but you need to check this out. It has the power to change folk music forever, I think. It's pretty incredible. He wanted to raise $28, which I thought was ambitious, but he's actually crushed that. He's up to $129 now. So you know what? In some sense, he's doing better than the cat headphone people in terms of like a percentage. Yeah, because
You're right.
The cat headphone people have only... I think quadrupled their goal, but this is almost 5 times bigger at this point. So, yeah.
I feel like an idiot for looking at this. I hate myself.
I don't
understand get this guy on the podcast because I think he's that awesome.
Why has he tied this thing to it instead of just dropping his pants and using that?
You just don't understand the vision of what he's trying to accomplish here, okay? Everyone needs to go watch the Band Drum Kickstarter video.
Was he trying to be like another potato salad guy or something? Was that what he was going for?
No, that was more
useful.
He's
trying to get his invention into the folk music scene and change it for everyone.
Well, so was the potato salad guy.
No, the potato salad guy's
just
goal
wanted to make potato salad.
He wanted to make one potato salad. Yeah, that's all he ever promised. He didn't say he'd give anyone any of the potato salad.
He did an AMA on Reddit last week, the potato salad guy.
I'm sure he didn't think it would take off the way it did, but...
It was pretty interesting to see his thoughts on... The
Life.
world of potato salad.
The world of is he still making potato salad? Is this still a primary source of revenue for him?
That's we're talking about that in Potato Salad Gate, but
yeah,
potatoes. A lot of drama happening there. So
Potato Salad Gate.
Yeah, like it's there's drama in the world of potato salad. People are they're racial profiling potatoes, and it's a disaster.
I don't know if this is funny or a real thing. I'm actually legitimately concerned.
I'll let you decide.
Stand up for my PEI potatoes back from the motherland. Yeah.
We'll let you decide.
Anyways,
what's real and what's not.
Moving. I think that should be our slogan as a show. We say things, you decide what's bullshit and what's actual news.
To be fair, like 99% of them are bullshit. So at least from my end.
Other technology podcasts give you the truth. We give you whatever we think.
Some podcasts think before they speak. We are not one of those.
Tech opinions, unfiltered.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Tech opinions, unfiltered.
Let's relaunch with that.
We say things before we realize what they are. Moving right along. HBO is famous for having the most pirated shows on the internet, and pirates are famous for saying, there's no way for me to watch this stuff legally without getting cable, so it's not my fault at all. To which HBO said, okay, fine, we're going to offer our service without cable next year. Your move, bitch. We'll see how this works out. I'm excited. I think I'd legitimately pay for an HBO Go subscription that didn't require cable. I mean, I pay to watch hockey because I don't want to pay for cable, but I pay to watch that online. I think I'd do this.
I'm confused. Can't you do this anyway? I thought HBO Go was a thing that you could pay for and get.
You have to have cable, though.
No. It's a thing you get for free if you happen to have HBO as part of your cable package.
Oh.
Now, it's free for lots of people because their parents have cable, and their parents don't know how to use the internet, so they use their HBO Go package. Right? But... for most, I mean, for anyone under 30, you probably don't have HBO, right? But your parents do, so you just use their password because they don't know how to use the internet. I think is the general model. Now they're saying instead of borrowing your parents' password, you can pay and get your own. So
see this, I don't know. This people are excited about this, but if every channel starts offering their own standalone little internet thing, like it's going to end up costing more than just getting cable.
Well, I think right now, if you were to get Hulu, HBO Go, and Netflix combined, it would be cheaper than a cable package, and you'd have all the shows definitely. You ever want, right?
But not all of the shows, like not the stuff right as it airs.
What's the Discovery Channel stuff? What does that come under?
I don't think you can get Discovery online at all right now. I think they're pretty famous for being hostile to the internet in general.
I don't know why, because if anyone was to split up, they would probably do pretty well out of it, wouldn't they? I assume people would subscribe to Discovery Channel stuff. I would.
No, Discovery makes most of its money from the cable model, though, so they're not going to do that. Discovery, I mean, they don't put any of their episodes online. They're really famous for not putting much of anything online. There might be some older stuff in Netflix. I'm not sure on that, though. I mean, I don't think they're going to do that. But in related news, up in Canada, the equivalent of the FCC up there, the board that regulates what shows can air when, and it's famous down here for demanding that every channel have a certain amount of Canadian content, which I think is a good law. A lot of people down here think it's a dumb law, but that's because they want to sell more shows to the channels. Anyways, they are considering imposing regulation that would force cable companies to off channels a la carte, which means if you just want the NHL network and comedy, you could just get those two and nothing else if you wanted to. So you would just pick which channels you want, pay for those, and nothing else. American TV stations, which aren't broadcast up there, but these stations are saying, if you do that, we will stop selling our shows to Canadian stations and create our own internet-based service for people to get shows on just outside of the cable system entirely. Because we are so convinced that we need to force people to buy sports channels in order to subsidize the... Like, they're just convinced if you let everyone just buy the channels they want and not the other ones, no one's going to be able to afford to make shows. So,
well, they're half right. I mean, there'll be a bunch of channels that die because no one wants them.
It's Canada. They're just selling the shows to make extra profit on top. They make all their money back in the States alone. So I think that's a bullshit argument.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they were to do that in the US, though, I mean.
Totally, that would be a problem. But it would also be awesome. Because, I don't know.
Because then we wouldn't have crap TV channels, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to pay for TLC's 5 reality shows that no one... Like, I don't want to watch that crap. I don't want to pay for that crap.
But somebody wants to watch it, and they're missing out on
they can pay a premium
for it. If you pay for cable, $5 a month goes to ESPN, regardless of whether you watch that or not. Now, I'm a hockey fan. I don't care about ESPN. They never broadcast anything that's even vaguely interesting to me. Why should I have to pay that $5 a month to ESPN? It makes no sense at all. But
a lot of people watch ESPN, though.
I know. I'm just giving an example. Maybe you don't care about the Sci-Fi Network because you only watch ESPN. You know,
hey, like Sharknado, bro.
I shouldn't have to subsidize channels I don't want to watch. Now, the industry is saying, okay, but we couldn't run the Sci-Fi Channel if people weren't paying for it who didn't want it, and it allows you to have great shows. To which I respond, you've been airing wrestling 2 nights a week for years. Why do I care about you at all?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a little SmackDown, all right?
Shouldn't be on the Sci-Fi Network. This is the thing I'm saying.
Well, I mean, wrestling is fiction, so they have it half right.
They got I wouldn't exactly. It's more art than science, though. Maybe it could be on the Art-Fi Network.
The Art-Fi channel? Let's watch
Why
that.
Can't I just pay $100 a month and watch any damn thing I want, and then someone else can figure out how to distribute that money? That's what I would like. I don't
really? You would pay $100 a month?
I would pay $100 a month to have a la carte access to everything.
So we're talking $1,200 a year, and James Bruce can watch whatever he wants whenever he wants to.
Anything, yes.
I think that's called a VPN subscription, and it's cheaper than $100 a month.
I mean, that's basically what I do with a VPN, right? That's But I don't want it to be that way. I shouldn't have to jump through things like that in order to.
I mean, no, you're right. There should be a much easier legal way to do this, and right now we're in this weird spot, right? Because we're between 2 technological transitions. We've got the old cable model, which is based on channels that broadcast the same content at set points in time, simultaneously to everyone. And that's been disrupted a little bit by DVRs, where people take these broadcasts that are at set times and record them to local machines where they can watch them wherever they want. But we also have internet-based streaming services like Netflix that broadcast directly from their servers to someone else on demand whenever you want to. And there's like cable-based on-demand services as well. It's really confusing, and it's not clear what the future's going to look like. But I think most people who watch stuff primarily online aren't going to be interested in watching, say, The Big Bang Theory at a set time on Thursdays, right? Like, they don't care about that. They just want to watch the show at some point. And so I think the broadcast model is dying for everything but sports. Sports, live events, you pretty clearly want to watch while they're happening, right? But for scripted stuff, for reality stuff, who cares? Watch it whenever. So I think, personally, the concept of a TV channel is going to go away for everything except for, like, news and sports and, like, the Oscars. Because who cares when you watch?
Yeah, you'll be able to make your own channel, effectively, I guess.
I don't know. I got to watch The Walking Dead live because too many people tweet about it. Super annoying. That show is
sure.
Apparently
no,
that
you need to stop using Twitter then.
Apparently that show is so popular that it just barely was beat out. The Big Bang Theory's premiere just barely beat The Walking Dead, and that by 1 million views. It was 18 million for Big Bang to 17 for Walking Dead, and that's a cable versus network. I mean,
but that's a season premiere versus the
no. The season premiere of Big Bang versus the season premiere of Walking Dead. There was 1 million people difference.
Whoa, so there's a new Big Bang Theory? Oh my god, where's my VPN turned?
Big Bang's on like episode 5 of the new season now, but I could not believe that though. That's, I mean, potential viewership of what
if I cut out suddenly, Big Bang. Don't blame me.
Yeah,
potential
you're right.
viewership is like 10 times more, I would assume, with it being on a network channel.
Even if you don't have cable, you can watch CBS, right?
Right.
I personally wait until CBS puts the episode up on its website the next day to watch it, because I don't. Who wants to watch TV at night? Like at a precise time with commercials. That's just, I don't want to do that.
Bro, don't you like being advertised to?
No, I hate.
You might find something cool that you didn't know you wanted.
I hate advertising. And that's why I've always liked HBO's model for paying for content, because you just pay a subscription and you get to watch stuff and there's no ads. And I think that's.
But what if you don't have any money?
Well, then free TV is available to you. But I don't think I should pay for cable and then see ads anyways. Okay, let's see. I can pay Netflix $7 a month and watch TV without ads, or I can pay my local cable company $80 a month and see more advertising than I can shake a stick at. Which one am I going to do here, guys?
Doesn't Hulu still show ads if you have Hulu?
Yeah, Hulu also shows ads if you pay, which I think is ridiculous. I should do one or the other.
I mean, they're following the TV model, basically.
Because it's run by TV companies.
Yeah.
And now this is my thing. I love watching TV. I hate ads. NHL Game Center, I keep talking about hockey, I'm sorry, but they added a feature where I can switch the cameras to just the goalie. So every time the commercial comes on, I switch it and I just watch the goalie from overhead. And then when the play starts, I switch back to the main one, and it's been pretty cool. They also put a camera on the ref's helmet, and I can watch the game from the ref's point of view straight through. It's kind of fantastic.
It seems like it'd be nauseating.
Can you not switch to any player?
Wonderful. Well, they don't have cameras on every player's helmet yet. They only have cameras on the ref's helmet.
Okay.
I think
maybe they should do that.
They would need to advance the ruggedness, I would think, of like cameras.
The cameras need to get a lot smaller, because right now it's on the ref's head, but no one's trying to hit the ref with their sticks or anything, right?
Yeah.
It would get problematic if it was on a player, you know?
Like a GoPro would get crushed if like a 250-pound
I have to say, though,
body checks him.
Every time there's like a fight or a goal, when the commercials come up, I switch to the ref's point of view and I rewind it so I can see the goal from the ref's point of view. And you can like see his hand pointing at the camera, like, good. And every sport should do this. It's incredible.
You know, I feel like I'm weird though, because I don't mind advertising. Like, maybe I'm just good at like tuning it out. It doesn't bother me like at all. Like, I see a commercial on TV and people are like, put on a different channel. I don't want to watch this shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. I don't know.
I've always hated I mean, I haven't always hated advertising, because when I was growing up, it was just like part of the air you breathe. But then I kind of stopped watching TV and everything for a year, and I was using AdBlock pretty heavily, and I just hadn't seen any advertising for a year when I was living on the road, and then I got back into it, and I'm like, wait, this is stupid. People are telling me to buy things all the time. This is toxic for my mental environment, so I've hated it ever since.
Well, right now, YouTube is showing nothing but Connecticut, like, governor ads.
Oh, man!
So every time I watch a YouTube video, I get, like, Tom Foley sucks, and I'm like, who the fuck is Tom Foley? And then apparently he's someone important. I think he's the governor or something. And
so Kashi is saying that he gets HBO with ads in India, so that sucks. But it's only $2 a month, free, right? So yeah. It's $2 a month. So I guess he's not for like all of his cable. So maybe that's a decent trade-off.
Yeah, I would pay. I would take that. That's fine.
Here in Colorado, so I don't watch live TV really, so I haven't seen them. But every time I go on YouTube, I get an ad about how Mark Udall's liberal and being liberal's bad. So you shouldn't vote for Mark Udall, liberal. Like it's this onslaught. Apparently,
so
he
it's not
stole
just
a
Connecticut then.
baby and gave it to the Secret Service, who then drove over it with an SUV. I think it's pretty crazy. The ads here are pretty bad. But even if you don't watch ads, like it's in the mail every damn day. They send us big flyers about. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I don't know who's running against Mark Udall. I just know he's apparently really, really bad. I wish
evil. Kill him.
YouTube had a button that said, "I can't vote. Please stop showing me political ads," because I would click that. I would.
Yeah, I can't vote. Show me an ad for a car or something. Like
you're wasting your money.
Something I can buy. I don't care about the governors and his bullshit. No matter who we put in, they're gonna suck. So whatever. Who cares?
I think people aren't uncomfortable with corporations tracking them constantly because they suck at it. Right? Because if YouTube had a decent profile of me, they'd know that I can't vote and that showing me political ads is a waste of time. But they don't know that. And I think, yeah, once the tracking gets good, we're all going to be living in a dystopian society like overnight, and we're going to realize that we should have worried about this more. Anyways,
on that point, this is quite interesting, actually. There's a new Chrome plugin called Floodwatch. And basically, it gathers all the advertising that's shown to you, and then you can kind of you get a better picture of what the advertisers know about you and where they're coming from, the ads where they're coming from, and what kind of ads they are and what color they are. It's pretty interesting, and you can contribute the data to some studies that are looking into exactly, the dangers of exactly what they can find out about you from the advertising. Which is kind of interesting. Go and have a look. Floodwatch.
Floodwatch, it's called. There's no Firefox, I'm assuming.
No, I think it's just a Chrome plugin. I can't find a URL, but where are we?
Speaking of Chrome, I see that they updated the Google Hangouts plugin and made it even worse somehow.
Not on OS X.
Have you seen this?
What?
Okay. On Windows, they made it. So you know what chat heads are in Facebook? It's like that, posed on your desktop. It's really weird. I couldn't stand it. Maybe you guys will. If you have an opinion on this, let me know. I would just like the Android app in a window, please, Google. That's all I want for chatting. I want the Android app in a window. Can you do that? I don't want to emulate Android to get this.
Why not?
I don't mind Chathead so much.
I don't want it on my desktop because it doesn't behave.
Another chat.
It doesn't behave the way a Mac app behaves. The windows go wherever the hell they want to, and it doesn't listen to anything I tell it. I'm so frustrated with Google Hangouts.
Wait, they updated it on Mac too? I thought it was only.
Oh, did they?
No, you just said it doesn't behave like a Mac.
I thought it was just on Windows. Maybe it's on Mac too now.
No,
but it's. Anyways. Google, get it working again. Though I'm really loving some of the improvements they've made in search recently. I love that if you type clickbaity type headlines, like when is Thanksgiving, it just tells you when it is in the search results. I think that is brilliant, and it could destroy a lot of people's SEO tactics, which I completely and fully endorse. Moving right along, speaking of Wikihow is known as one of the better sources of how to do things online. You can get a lot of really legit tutorials at this site. But sometimes an article comes up that makes you question humanity. And James, you added this one here, and I'm questioning humanity. Why don't you tell me a little bit about this article?
Well, it tells you how to pee on a bus.
What the? Okay. Okay.
And if you read it now, actually, it's been pretty heavily edited since I saw it yesterday, I've got to say. When the bit where it ends right now, that's not where it actually ended. When I saw it yesterday, it had some graphic steps about girls wearing a short skirt can just pee directly onto the bus because the seats are absorbent.
Oh no.
No shitting you. It was so yeah. It's been toned down a bit since then. It looks like they've come in and changed it, but
try not to move around too much. Read or watch something to distract yourself.
I think I
Avoid
can summarize it.
Or laughing.
Pee in a bottle is the advice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
I actually peed in a bottle the other day in the car. We were on
Sorry, dude.
going into New York City to stupid Comic-Con. There was like freaking traffic wasn't moving on. I was like, I gotta pee real bad, and there's no bathroom near where we're going until you don't want to have to pee at Comic-Con. It takes 3 hours.
Wait, you went to Comic-Con? There was some stunning cosplay there.
Yeah, it was alright. I don't know.
So Kashi just asked in the chat room, related to a previous conversation, do you know any good free Android emulator for Windows?
No.
I have had great success with something called Geny Motion. Geny Motion, all one word. It uses VMware and it has a custom image. You can actually download images for a bunch of different Android devices, and I've been able to run games on it. It handles graphics pretty well for games, but if you just want to quickly run something, you can. But you're emulating the complete Android environment, which isn't an ideal solution for just chat.
What's that thing? Isn't it BlueStacks or something?
I didn't like BlueStacks as much. I find Geny Motion.
I tried it. It didn't
better.
work with anything.
Well, I don't understand. Why would I want to run Android apps on my computer?
Dude, you don't.
I did to test something. Oh, because my...
It doesn't make sense to me.
I needed to review some Android apps, and Kathy left with the tablet for the weekend, so I had no way to do it. That was my particular use case. Could be for other things.
But why would a regular person want Android mobile apps?
Why would a regular person want Android?
I was going to write an article specifically saying Google Hangouts on the desktop is crap. Here's how to get the Android version running on your desktop. I'm still thinking about this because I hate what they've done with Hangouts on the desktop. It's a mess. You can't use keyboard shortcuts to switch from email to a chat. You have to use your mouse. I'm a freak, aren't I? No one cares about these things but me.
Wait, I have the Hangout extension, and that seems to work fine, right?
You probably haven't updated it yet.
Yeah, just wait. It's going to get pretty weird.
Wait, when did they update it?
I don't know.
Yesterday,
about a week ago. Yeah, something like that.
What is whatever.
Moving right along from peeing on a bus to Russia.
I want to pee on the bus.
Don't pee on the bus.
No, but you can now,
You're
dude.
a terrible
That's the
person.
PP.
A good chunk of these 150,000 views have to be
Reddit.
People just curious or people who think it's funny. I mean, we've now linked to it, so we're adding to that total. I don't think
it's just depressing. It's like
a lot of people who want to pee on buses. You know what? Speaking of page views, right? Because we get accused of writing Linkbait every week.
We do?
We kind of do
every
sometimes.
damn week. Every damn week.
Who's writing
so
Linkbait?
This week,
I don't see no Linkbait.
This week we had an article. This week we had an article called "Do you want Windows 10 features right now?" by a Mac. Which, okay, kind of Linkbaity. I'll give you that one.
Kind of.
But it is true that a lot of those features are available on Mac right now. This one did best on Reddit in a Linux forum where people are like, "Ha, we've had those even earlier than you guys on the Mac, so screw you," right? That was a big reaction.
A few weeks ago, we had 4 things that Mac users miss about Windows.
Yes, and
which
every
made
time,
me want to kill somebody.
No, but we get accused of being pro-Windows biased one day and pro-Mac biased the other, right? And I think part of the problem is we're one of the tech sites that are trying to offer as many points of view as possible, right? So if you think Windows sucks and no one should use it, James, and I let you work for us. Okay? And I kind of
that was your first
hate
mistake.
Apple, but I like their laptops, but I think Windows is good for what it's for, and I wish I was still using Linux, but I missed Photoshop too much. So, I'm in that situation, right? But we're accused site-wide every time someone doesn't like an article of having a systematic bias against either Windows or Mac or Linux or Windows Phone or whatever. People just judge the whole site based on this one thing, and I find it so curious. I find it so curious. Because if you scroll through... So it was Matt Smith who wrote this, so if you want these Windows 10 features right now, buy a Mac article. And if you scroll through the articles he's written in the past, he's almost exclusively written in-depth tutorials about how to get more out of Windows, right? He's a gamer. He's obviously someone who appreciates Windows for what it is, right? He just decided to write this one article. And now people are accusing him of being a pro-Mac journalist. What can we do to win, I guess, is what I'm asking.
I'll tell you what we could do. We could split the site up and cater to each of these audiences in their own little niche biased area.
So Scudderman is saying, I've considered writing a blog post titled, How I Use This One Weird Trick to Make Myself More Productive. Can I get away with using that ironically? No, I think ironically using clickbait headlines was a clickbait tactic itself 2 years ago already. I'm sorry, you can't do that. You can't.
You can. That sounds awesome. I'd read it. I'd click it.
Instead of browsing the web, I do my job. I find this makes me a lot more productive.
The thing about clickbait is that
browsing
people
web,
click
you
it.
won't believe what happens next.
Oh man,
that's a proper clickbait title, right?
But the only clickbait titles that work for us are when we enrage one user base or another. And then they
that's
all
not really
stop
clickbait,
by.
Though. That's just the title. Clickbait to me is the title doesn't actually tell you what it is.
Yeah. It was pretty obvious what you'd get with that article, right? If
what I said, man goes to store, but you won't believe what comes next. Like,
but
why can't you just say man goes to store and finds sausage?
To a certain subset
he buys
of
some
internet
milk.
commenters, clickbait has become code for I did not like this article, is what I've noticed. Anyways, this is getting a little self-indulgent. No one cares about our first world blogger problems. We should move on. So Russian hackers, it's not clear if they're associated with the government or not, but they're probably associated with the government, have used a flaw in, get this, PowerPoint to steal NATO documents. They've emailed people in the NATO organization saying, I'd like to attend your conference. Here is my presentation. Open the presentation and bam, backdoor into a NATO computer. Kind of seems like a bit of a problem. James, why did you allow this flaw to exist in the operating system this long? Why didn't you let us know?
You know what I find really hilarious about this?
What's that?
The sandworm thing that it exploits, the zero-day exploit called sandworm.
Yeah.
It affects all current versions of Windows from Windows 8.1 down to Windows Vista SP2, which means it doesn't affect Windows XP.
It doesn't affect XP.
XP is the only OS version, only Windows version unaffected by this.
All of you guys who are saying XP is perfectly secure, it's fine. Turns out, you're right. Everyone who's upgraded is screwed. So
insane.
Microsoft is putting out a patch soon. This won't be a round long, so, install those updates, children. But, you don't want NATO to be the organization that gets broken into because of your flaw. Yeah. Poor Microsoft. Title, this podcast is clickbait. I guess it could work. James, do you have any insightful commentary on the current state of NATO-Russian relations, or should we move on?
What?
James
I meant Dave. I meant Dave. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think that we should all just sing songs and dance.
In Ukraine?
No, here.
You forgot to make daisy chains.
Okay, moving right along.
Where are we moving to?
We are moving to the depressing part of the podcast now, because for some reason, someone in Utah decided to write a long, rambling rant saying that if Anita Sarkeesian is permitted to speak at our university, I'm going to kill a bunch of people. Grow up. Seriously, just grow up. You're not making a point with this. You're damaging whatever argument it is this Gamergate people are trying to make. Just grow up. I mean, the letter apparently says at the end, I'm going to kill all these people, and it's going to show everyone the damage feminists have done to men. Yeah, you're really making that point with this. That's what's going on here. Feminists are causing damage to men. It's messed up, dude. You can't condemn it. You can't condone this. You can't condone this, okay? Now, Sarkeesian says she canceled the talk not because of the death threat, but because Utah state law forbids the university from banning concealed weapons within the venue.
This is what I think is more shocking about this, as a Brit. Like, normally this wouldn't be a problem. Someone says, I'm going to shoot a bunch of people at a conference. Okay, we're going to check for guns on the way in. Problem solved.
If you have a license to carry a gun, apparently, even if there's a death threat issued against someone, they're not allowed to, from a security point of view, stop people from taking the guns in. I think part of this is because the university is a government building and there's like a government law. I mean, certainly Walmart, if they want to, can set up a checkpoint and prevent people from taking guns in because they're a private company. They can do what they want. University's different. I think it's messed up, but that's the law. So, to be fair, if I got a death threat and I found out that everyone was allowed to take guns in if they had a license, I'd probably not want to speak either. I'm sure some Second Amendment people have something to say about that, but, I mean, so I tweeted before this show that if you are associated with Gamergate and you don't agree with this kind of crap happening, you need to start your own movement because yours is toxic, okay? You need to start your own movement, the founding basis of which is we don't condone violence, but we think there's some issues with the games media. Because at this point, your brand is this. And I don't know, I don't think you can fix that. What I was saying, some very reasonable people responded to this, which surprised me, because usually Gamergate, you just get a bunch of bullshit. But I had some very reasonable people respond to me. And they're just trying to explain, no, that's not what we're about. We are condemning this. And what I'm saying is it doesn't matter if you condemn them at this point because they're associated with your movement. And you need to start a new movement. I'm sorry, but the movement's been hijacked by jackasses. And even if it ever was a legitimate thing, it's not now. It's just not. It's too corrupt. I am an environmentalist. I don't know if I've said this in the past, but I'm not ever giving any of my money to Greenpeace because I feel like it's been corrupted by people who don't actually, well, maybe they do care about the environment, but what they do isn't effective, right? You can protest this Exxon, this Trans-Canada pipeline all you want. Even if you stop it, you're not going to lower carbon. Anyways, side rant. Just bike to work if you want oil to be less of an issue. Like, stop driving everywhere. But moving on to my core point, I'm an environmentalist. I don't support Greenpeace. I feel like it's been hijacked. I give my money to the Nature Conservancy because I feel like they do really good work, okay? And should I just be like, no, I want Greenpeace to be the way I want it to. I don't care if it's been hijacked. At some point, you just got to give up. You just got to give up. You got to move on and start your own movement. And I think that's where Gamergate's at right now. Sorry, guys. I hear what you're saying. I hear the point you're trying to make about games journalism. I feel like it is corrupt. But your movement has been associated with so many terrible things at this point that it's toxic. It's toxic. Dave, do you disagree?
I just prefer not to even speak about Gamergate when possible.
Yeah?
Because I don't want to be involved in their bullshit.
And I'm sure some Gamergate people are mad that I'm even bringing them up in the reference to this Cartesian threat because they'd say that's not us. But it's related. It's related. And
exactly. It's related and it's
and you can't.
I don't know. So Gamergate people are giving the other people the like thing to say like, well, we're part of this, and it's just like it's like a stupid club of assholes. You know, I don't like any of them. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with saying you don't want Anita Sarkeesian to speak at your school and you don't think that she belongs there and blah blah blah. That's fine, but you can't be saying that you're going to shoot people if she does. Just don't go. Don't support the talk. Like, you know? Hell, protest the talk even. You're allowed to protest stuff.
Yeah.
Go stand outside with picket signs and say like Anita Sarkeesian is bullshit or whatever. That's all perfectly fine. But
George, how about just I respectfully disagree.
Whatever wording you want to use, but saying you're going to kill people
if you want to save this movement, be over the top civil. Like, I'm talking Canadian levels of civility. Just be like,
so use a sign that says like I don't like Anita Sarkeesian ... sorry.
Just a sign that says you've made some valid points in the past, but I find your overall message to be negative. Like just be over the top polite about this.
The sorry. You need the sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I need Gamergate because I'm something. Fill in the blank.
I just like to play video games. And,
if you play games, you're a gamer. And you know what? As much as Gamergate thinks that they're changing the world, the vast majority of humans on planet Earth have no idea what it is. Go ahead. Ask your grandma what Gamergate is. See what kind of reaction it gets.
The thing that made me think was I was listening to one of the Giant Bomb podcasts, not the main Bombcast, but the Bomb in the AM with Scoops and the Wolf. And Alex was talking about how like a lot of people immediately just want to have the attitude of like, well, can't we all just play games and shut up? But as he pointed out, was you know, that might be nice to say and for you to do, but what remember is like the people who are being doxxed and the people like that, like they can't just shut up and play the games because they're being...
No, they can't. You're right. And they're being persecuted here. Someone in the chat room is saying, are Muslims terrorists? Are terrorists Muslim? Is Gamergate bad? You know what? Muslims aren't bad. They're not. Muslims are good. And I'm sure at some point a bunch of reasonable people started a movement called Al-Qaeda that had some very legitimate goals. But at this point, if you were to try to retake the word Al-Qaeda for your own purposes, you can't. I'm sorry. It's gone. It's associated with something else now. I don't actually know if Al-Qaeda had a peaceful start. I'm sorry. I have no idea. But, like, we're not saying gamers are bad. No one's saying... Well, some people are saying gamers are bad. I'm not, okay? But Gamergate, as a movement, is corrupt. I mean... The brand is toxic. Shut up about Gamergate already. Okay, fine, will do. Most people in the chat room, their opinion seems to be, I don't care about this. Stop talking about this because it isn't interesting. Fair enough. But something is motivating people to go all Columbine at a university. And that's not okay. It's just games, people. Play them. Yeah.
Hey, moving right along. You could come to England. We don't have guns. I think you'd be all right here.
I think she's spoken there a couple times already.
Oh.
Dude.
Also, I think Gamergate is still over there. I think guns are not keeping Gamergate away.
We're going to throw a glass bottle at you! Yeah, that's the worst. Like...
We can talk about the guns thing some other time on a podcast that's not about technology. But moving right along. So, to say technology has a bit of a problem with females... It's hard if you're a woman to get into the industry. Apple and Facebook have a unique way of maybe helping with this. They're going to pay female employees to freeze their eggs so that they can keep working. Because if you got your biological clock ticking down, I guess the thought is you'll be worried that maybe I need to leave my job to have a kid. Now, free of charge, they're going to let women freeze their eggs so that they can have a kid later and keep working 12-hour days for now. Yeah, I don't know. Not a terrible idea, I guess. I don't think it gets to the crux of the problem wherein you guys have a culture. What are you building Legos off screen there? Like, what is that?
I'm trying to find a bottle opener. Don't hate me. I need my alcohol. Jesus.
Okay.
Are you building Legos off screen?
But now that you've given me the idea,
I think we just found our title for the week.
Are you building Legos off screen? Anyways. I think the real problem here that they're trying to ignore is that if you want to work at Apple or Facebook, you have to work hours that are so extreme that you can't do something casual on the side like raise another human. And that's probably a problem, but what do I know? What do I know? Moving right along, you might have heard reports that Dropbox was hacked this week. Turns out that's not true. At least that's what Dropbox is saying. James, I'm a little confused about what's going on here. Apparently there is a list published on the internet with a bunch of emails and password combinations, but Dropbox is saying they didn't get those from us, right?
No, so basically they grabbed them from elsewhere and then they tried the emails and the passwords with Dropbox and developed a list of ones that work with Dropbox. But it's actually about 2 years old, most of them don't work, and a couple of them still haven't been changed. So Dropbox wasn't hacked. Essentially.
Dropbox wasn't hacked, but some of these passwords work. So is it basically people who use the same password for everything who are vulnerable to this? Or
basically,
what?
Yeah. I mean, that's how...
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not a systematic leak of Dropbox passwords. It's just a whole bunch of passwords.
It's nothing to do with Dropbox even, really. It's just passwords which happen to work on Dropbox too.
But if you want to prevent this kind of thing, yeah, use different passwords for key services. I would say at the very least, if you use... like whatever your email provider is, that password should be different than everything else. And if you use Dropbox, that password should probably be different than everything else. But for your account for World of Warcraft or whatever, who cares? That's kind of... I have like tiers. That's kind of my thing. Because there's some stuff... Yeah, if you get into this, you might be able to annoy me somewhat, but I'm going to get it back because I own the email address that this is attached to, right? But for the big things, for email, for cloud storage, I'd say iCloud if you use that, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Make sure you have different passwords. And honestly, for email, turn on two-factor authentication. I'd say turn on two-factor authentication for Dropbox as well. If that's not practical for whatever reason, just make sure you change your password regularly.
Speaking of which, someone keeps trying to hack into my... Well, not hack into, but get into my online banking. And it's freaking annoying because they can't figure out my password. Yeah. So my account just keeps getting locked.
Oh my god!
And then I have to go change my password because it won't let me log in with my password until I go and change it because they just keep doing. They keep failing.
I think it is, Dave.
You.
I think it's your mom's dog. I'm
he is crafty, that dog. So I changed my username, so hopefully that will stop it. But it's happened 3 times in the last 2 weeks. I've had to go and change my online banking password. I mean, at least they're not getting in, right? Like, that's good.
It's them technophiliacs who want that crazy podcast money.
Freaking...
You thought about running some malware checks on your computer, Dave? That might be an idea.
Yeah, because nothing else is... It's just that. Nothing else is getting any attempts on it.
Since you've changed the password, has anyone...
The username?
Yeah, I just changed the username today, so we'll see.
And what is that username?
Well, I'll tell you what my username was just my name, so that's why it wasn't hard to figure out what the username was to then just try passwords on it. Now it is not my name anymore.
Guys, his password is Ox. It's the Ox.
Yeah, I have a 2-letter password on my online banking.
No, it's the Ox.
Oh, 5 letters. Well, that's much more secure.
And the O is a 0. That's my guess. Moving right along, we had a quick list of the biggest tech disappointments. As we ask you on Make Use of It, we got some pretty good responses, I think, here. I thought I'd go through a bit of the list, and I want to know from the chat room, what do you think the biggest disappointment in tech in the past year is? Discontinuation of the iPod Classic. I gotta tell you, James, my sister just 2 weeks ago was asking where she could buy an iPod Classic, and I had to tell her they're gone. They don't make them anymore.
I've still got
But
one.
I want my spinny wheel.
Yeah, it's gone.
That featured image is hilarious on this article, by the way.
Yeah, I find it weird.
Well, yeah, it's weirdly hilarious.
Someone said the Leap motion controller. Someone else said gaming on the Wii.
Is iOS 8 really disappointing? I didn't know.
Yes.
I thought
Wii games. I said that they were lame as hell.
One person said the Apple Newton, followed by someone else saying the day Apple canceled. So there's a mixing of opinion here. The Pebble watch is disappointing. I don't know. It's a watch. I think it's pretty cool, actually.
I've heard a lot of people who backed that were kind of like, this thing is
didn't like how it turned out.
I don't see the iPhone 6 as being disappointing either. I thought they did exactly what they were.
I personally was expecting it to cure cancer, and it didn't. So I just think that company can't innovate anymore.
Android was pretty damn disappointing.
What? Android in general? You're an asshole.
Android.
The best damn mobile operating system.
You know what is quite disappointing so far.
What's that?
This generation. Well, it's on there.
Consoles.
Modern console gaming.
Yeah.
This generation of consoles have both been, not the consoles themselves. They're fine. The actual hardware, like the games have just not been there yet.
Honestly, I think the hardware is kind of crap as well. It's like the most basic of gaming PCs right now would be better than an Xbox One.
I mean, that's usually how it is with consoles, isn't it? Because they got to get the price point under 500.
No, because the last generation, I'm sure they lasted out a lot longer than... I mean, they're designed for a 10-year life cycle, but it's been a year, and I feel like these are outdated already.
I mean, that's always true compared to PCs, which is why if you like gaming, you should ignore consoles and get a PC. Isn't that common wisdom at this point?
I don't think it used to be like that. I think it used to be that the consoles were better than PCs for at least for half of their planned lifespan.
I don't think that was ever the case.
Well, no, it's especially not now that they've all switched over to using the same hardware as a computer, basically. They are mini computers, right? Before you had, power PC chips and stuff that was dedicated to doing this stuff and really good at it. But that's just not true anymore. They're just like little crappy PCs. It's a shame.
Yeah. So, that's a big disappointment. Anyways, I want to know what the... someone else did the end of WebOS, which I think's sad, too. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah,
I mean, there's been a lot of disappointments in the history of technology. If you think about it, it's all disappointing until we're in like a hovercraft and you know, it's all disappointing.
Are you kidding? We're doing a podcast right now, talking to people in 3 different time zones, and it's not even costing.
He doesn't like Oculus Rift. What do you expect? Of course, he's going to be disappointed by everything.
You know, there was a custom VR thing at the Comic-Con that I didn't check out for the How to Train Your Dragon thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think you can download that now.
It looks like,
but it didn't actually use Oculus hardware. It used like their own weird hardware or something. But like if you sat on a wooden thing and they blew wind at you, and it looked like the dragon's face, I guess, that you start. I didn't use it, but
you should have done. I think that would have been mind blowing.
Dude, the lines for everything at Comic-Con are absolutely bonkers.
Well, it's in New York City too. Right?
Mind-blowingly, people everywhere. Just people, just smelly, fat. Just oh my god, just people.
Scudderman says he's waiting for hoverboards next year. Yeah, in Back to the Future, I think next year it's it, right? So I'm thinking we're not going to have the hoverboards. But if they do, they'll work over water, because that was the ridiculous plot point. They figured out hovering, but they didn't figure out a way to make it move over water. I'm sorry. I'm not going to accept that. Looks like we added the Facebook and Apple offering egg freezing to the timeline twice, so go us, professional broadcasters.
It was so interesting that we put it on there twice.
Because I clicked through and I'm like, wait, this isn't the link I added. How did this get here? But anyways, moving right along, doctors are saying Google Glass caused worse withdrawal symptoms than alcohol, a Valleywag's reporting this week. A guy who's been wearing Google Glass 18 hours a day, he took it off only to sleep and to shower, basically. He was feeling irritable without the device on, and he kept touching his head right here, which is the thing you do to cause the interface to turn on. Yeah. I mean, does doctors say the rush that you get of a dopamine, I assume, every time you connect to the internet is a problem, and having just the internet connected to your face constantly, it's a bit of a problem. So, I could see it. I could see it as becoming extremely habit-forming. Even phones are extremely habit-forming. People pull them out without realizing they've done so, and before you know it, they're halfway through their Facebook feed. So, yeah, I could see it. I could see it being really hard to give up. I mean, it's basically becoming an extension of your being at that point, isn't it, James?
Yeah, I kind of want one now. If they're that good.
You didn't want one before, and now you do. So when you hear about heroin addicts overdosing, are you just like, this heroin thing sounds interesting. I should look into this. That is not a human reaction you just had. That's incredible. Huh. Well, that's enough of that crap. Let's move on to the gaming news, the part of the show where Dave LeClaire has lots to say. Coming soon, Dota 2 on a Windows Surface tablet. I personally think this is happening just to spite James. What do you think, Dave?
I think that we're getting one step closer to my dream. So we're going to tablets, so it's just a little bit smaller, and then we'll be on a phone. So, I mean...
There you go.
Actually, I have played with people who said, in Dota, who said they were playing on a Surface, so I don't think this is new.
Dude, this wasn't a real thing. I was just using it as an introduction to the actual story.
Oh, got it!
Oh my god! What is wrong with you people?
You can actually play Dota 2 on a Surface tablet right now.
Oh, there you go. There you go. But anyways, the Humble Bundle, they've got the Humble Mozilla Bundle. You can play a bunch of games in your browser right now. It's powered by ASM.js. And I tried this. I have a bunch of these games already, so it wasn't that exciting for me. But it was pretty cool. I got FTL working in a browser. You can play it free right now. If you want it forever, you have to download it.
Do I have to play this in was it Firefox?
I tested it in Firefox. I
think it's anything with WebGL, any modern browser. So anything except
so
Internet Explorer.
Why do they call it the Mozilla Bundle? That seems deceiving.
Because Mozilla's sponsoring it, maybe?
But I think this is a thing moving forward that they're going to do. Like, everything they release will be under this wrapper for WebGL, so it can be played on any single system, ever.
I mean, that's pretty cool. That means you could play anything on any system you want.
Which means, potentially, if they put Dota 2 into the Humble Bundle, then it will be playable on phones.
I don't think you're going to see Dota 2 in a Humble Bundle anytime soon.
It's also already free.
Oh, it's free anyway.
Why would it need to be in a bundle of it? Yeah, you don't need to pay for Dota 2.
But
anyway...
I think this is pretty cool. I mean, I don't imagine many people are going to want to play most of their games in a browser, but the fact that you can says something about where the web is going long term, I think. So, it'd be interesting to see people doing creative things with this beyond. What I found, I didn't install any kind of plugin, and I could just play these games. It wasn't Flash or anything like that. It just works, and I guess it's built into Mozilla. Are you on Chrome right now?
I am.
I am.
Can you play it right now? Is it working for you?
Are they free? Don't you have to pay for them?
No, there's a play button under all these, and you can play them before you pay. And I think just if you pay, you can keep doing that forever.
This game is very resource intensive. It may cause this tab to crash. You can either play anyway or get Firefox.
Which one are you? Oh, okay. Try Super Hexagon.
Anyway. I can play it, yeah. It's kind of like
I clicked that. I went to Zenbound 2.
Okay.
I'm
just wondering if it works.
Well, it's working. It's downloading the data, so we'll see.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome, and I
feel like they just put that warning to try to get me to download Firefox. But joke's on them. I already have Firefox. Just not.
I didn't get a warning.
Well, really? This way, if it crashes, they'll be like, "Hey."
Probably you don't have enough memory or something.
It could depend which game you're playing.
16 gigs of RAM.
Is that all?
Is that all?
Anyway, more Humble Bundle news. I wrote an article about this over the weekend, but the Humble mobile bundle's on right now. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Humble Mobile Bundle. Humble Mobile Bundle. Anyways, it's on right now. And there's one free game you can get just without needing to buy the whole bundle. It's Devil's Attorney. It's pretty fun. I'd recommend checking it out.
Hey, I just got an email right now from Steam, from the Valve PR individuals, and they would like me to inform the world that there are 10 titles that are free to play on Steam this weekend that would normally cost money. So you can go and download them and play them all weekend for free. Games like Grid 2, Injustice, Payday 2, Awesome Knots, Company of Heroes 2, XCOM Enemy Unknown, and others are all going to be free to play for a weekend and discounted to buy.
It works fine in Chrome, but the games are crap.
So hey, if you like games on the PC...
Dude, if you don't like FTL, you don't like gaming. I'm serious. That's a masterpiece.
That's on the iPad, isn't it?
And Zenbound 2 appears to be working for me as well in my Google Chrome
they
web
work.
browser.
It's standard browser stuff. It's JavaScript and WebGL. It's been...
Yeah, but it's all 3D and pretty looking, bruh.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Browsers have had that for a while.
Anyways, this is veering quite dangerously into after-show territory. But for a free game, till the end of the week, go to humblebundle.org, I think it is. Let me correct this. Humblebundle.com/mobile. And you can get Devil's Attorney for Android free of charge. Or you can buy the whole bundle and get a bunch of pretty good-looking games, actually. But I'm pretty excited about Devil's Attorney. It was a fun game, and yeah, check it out. Yeah, it's like an it's a turn-based RPG, but you're a lawyer who's using dirty tactics to win and keep criminals on the streets.
You're a turn-based RPG.
Yeah, I know. That's how I live my whole day. I'm like,
I know. I've been training for years.
Right, and then the writing kicks me a little, and then I write it, and that's I just try to live my whole life like it's an RPG. Definitely.
Boom shakalaka.
Done. Moving right along, I think we're done, guys.
I was going to say, there's nothing to move along to, brother.
Where are we going?
Decent episode. Thanks so much for listening. If you want to participate in the making of the show, you can go to makeuseof.tv/live once a week. Or, if you like, you can follow us at The Technophilia on Twitter, or you go to facebook.com/Technophilia podcast. You can follow me at JHPot on Twitter. You can follow Dave at SideOx. Don't follow James on Twitter. It's a waste of your time. And
the Apple event's on now. Oh, we can talk about new iMacs and new iPads, and we've got another hour's show left, guys.
It's funny how little people get excited about the non-iPhone event, though. It's way less of a big deal.
I was way more excited about this one. I want to see.
I mean, just like the general, the blogosphere is so much quieter when it's not an iPhone. Like, I heard about this event once, and then you mentioning it is now the second time Whereas that iPhone one, I heard about it every 5 minutes everywhere I went. Like, hey, did you know they're announcing a new iPhone?
They just had an event last month, so it's hard to get as excited about it. We're all burnt out on it.
With the iPhone one, I hear about it from people who don't even follow. Like Jess's parents, like Jess's dad would be like, yo, they're announcing a new iPhone on Friday, I heard. Like, people who don't even follow the tech world. This one, not so much.
I mean, you can get a new iPhone for free from your phone company, so I think it just affects normal people more.
You're an
But
iPhone.
I don't care about either. Let's move on to the after show. I believe it's your turn, Dave.
But you didn't give us like a I want some type of proper outro. Give me like a real clean like.
Stay classy, Technophiliacs.
All right, that'll work.
You're listening to Techno. You're listening to Techno. You're listening to Technophilia. Listening to Technophilia. Technophilia. You're listening. Technophilia. Doing that.
Well, I don't know who assigned that arbitrary rule that you can't drink in the morning, but I say bullshit.
Should we move on to the news then? Or you got something else? We'll see. Get off the internet and get to work.
I'm too perfect anyway. I got nothing to fix.
You're listening to Technophilia. Keep doing that. Technophilia.